to another video. So today we're a little bit more intimate than I would normally be. I've had so many requests to do an eye look, obviously specifically for Asian eyes. So what I'm going to do today doesn't mean that, you know, if you're a non-Asian person you can't follow these steps. It will still be applicable to you, but I've obviously tailored it around Asian eyes. Thing is, I don't really want to generalize or stereotype Asian eyes too much, because even within Asian eyes, or should I say more specifically East or Southeast Asian eyes, there are so many different types of eyes, which is something that whilst growing up I've had to contend with people being quite ignorant and assuming that we all have the same eye shape or everybody is monolid, which isn't the case. And as Asian people, we can actually follow a lot of regular, I use the word regular loosely, but we can actually follow a lot of regular eye tutorials on the internet that already exist for non-Asian eyes, and it will work equally well for us in the same way that my video will work equally well for people with non-Asian eyes. But there are a few differences, and those are the points that I want to address in my video today. I will try to cover everything and all the concerns that I can think of off the top of my head, and all the tips and tricks I've learnt during my time as a makeup artist, and also with experience with my own eyes. So if there's anything I've missed out that I think is relevant and important, then I will include it down below. So getting started on this video, like I said earlier, there are so many different types of Asian eyes, as you have so many different eye shapes within other cultures and communities. So with my own eyes, I have regular sized almond eyes, I would say, and if you see my eyes, I have got a little bit of a lid, so just there, but a lot of Asian people, they don't have this line, hence being called monolid, or that line is very close to their lash line, thereby almost looking monolid. Alternatively, there are Asian people with really big eyelids and or really deep set eyes, alternatively drooping and or skin hanging over, which again can look like monolids. So I'm obviously working on my eyes, which have a single lid here, but I will give tips and tricks for like monolids as well, for example. Before I get onto the video, I just wanted to explain as well the noise. In case you can hear a fan whirling in the background, it's because there is a fan whirling in the background. Today is incredibly hot for UK standards. We are literally all melting here. It's very humid, extremely hot, no wind whatsoever, so we're all dying. And I really wanted to post this video, even though it is so hot. So please excuse the noise. So first things first, I'm going to start off by explaining that Asian eyes, not all, but the majority, really need primer. You need to prime the heck out of your eyes. Asian eyes are prone to smudging. My eyes, I don't know about yours, smudge like hell. And if you do not use the right products, by afternoon, by lunchtime, you will look like a panda. So literally you'll have the smudges of the dark brown, black, whatever you have. So priming will help you in that regard, to make sure that there is less transfer and to make sure that your eye makeup stays on for longer with minimal fuss. Don't we all want that? So normally if I want to prime my eyelids, I will go in with a product like the Nars Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. This is, they have one in clear, which is like their original cult product. This one has a tint to it, hence the name, and this is in colour medium. I think there's like light, medium, dark and dark, I believe. But this is a really good primer for the eyes. Please don't use primer for the face on your eyes. Please get a separate primer for your eyes only, and just use the tiniest amount. That's what it looks like, and I mean like that amount at most. And then you can either use your fingers or a brush preferably and blend that in. it will just make sure that when you put a product on top of that primer, it won't budge as much. There'll be less movement. Alternatively, what you can do instead of a primer is use a product like a liquid eyeshadow or a creamy eyeshadow that has really good longevity. Normally it says long wearing in the title. Me personally, I prefer to put on a creamy eyeshadow base or a liquid eyeshadow base as my primer before then either adding powder on top, or you could just leave it as is. So today I'm going in with the Glossier Skywash liquid eyeshadow in the colour Echo, which is like a dark brown. I used this in my full face of Glossier video on IGTV and I absolutely loved it. I'm going in with my MAC 239S brush. I love it. It looks like that. I have got a brand new one as well. You can use a wand, but what I like to do is just apply a little bit to my eye. Just a tiny bit because it's liquid. And can you see I've applied it literally to where my crease is, and I blend it out. Working in the makeup industry, I've come across so many makeup artists who think that because we've got Asian eyes, we've got more lid space and therefore you can add more colour. And I'm like, no honey, my eye is not a sketchbook for you. So keep it on the crease and then just use your brush to like fan, like it's like a swash motion, like back forth to blend it out. If you find that you've got some uneven spaces, just go back in like on the end and again just blend it. Always work one eye at a time because these liquid shadows dry super quick, as does creamy eyeshadows, and you don't want to leave it patchy. So that's what it looks like on one eye. You can obviously go in with more product, but I'm not wanting to do a smoky eye with this product, although for a lot of East Asian women this would already be quite a soft smoky eye. So I do want to add eyeshadow on top, so I'm just going to leave it as is and continue with my other eye. So that's both eyes done. Often I like to balance out the top and the bottom, so I also like to add a little bit of this colour to the underneath of my eyes, close to my lower lash line. So just go with a little bit, not too much because you don't want it to turn into like a heavy smoky eye look. And this will just add more depth to the lower lashes. Trying to use a camera as my mirror, but I realized I could look very strange, guys. So that's the base of my eyes done. To be honest, if you wanted to, you could, this alone could be an eye look. You could just add a bit of liner, some mascara or some lashes, like false lashes, and you're good to go. And even then your eyes will look super pretty. But I want to do more, so I'm going to add more powder onto this, but I just wanted to explain that this in itself could be a look. Either way, I think doing a little bit of this sort of like cool toned color brown to your eyes is always a good trick for Asian eyes, because it sort of acts like contour or shadow and it gives the illusion of bigger eyes. It gives a little bit more definition, so this is nice to do even for an everyday look. So now I want to elevate the look, and I will add some eyeshadow powder on top of my base. I'm going to be using the Natasha Denona Mini Glam palette. I bought this recently and honestly it's such a gorgeous palette. Look at the colours. You can see where I swatched it. I will attach a shot of all the swatches on the screen now. But when I was literally swatching it on my arm, I was literally like a 5-year-old kid going ooh, ooh, with every colour. Very easily impressed. So what I'll do is, because I've already got sort of like a brown, cool browny tone colour on my lid, I would normally gravitate towards a colour like this on the end, which is Fay, which is like a bronzy colour, but I think I'm going to go for the shade in the middle, which is 𝕉𝕠𝕠𝕠. Now if I had put on the eye primer from Nars, then I would go in with this sort of tone first, just to act as a base colour, but because I've already got my base colour, I'm going to go straight in with this middle colour called 𝕉𝕠𝕠 or 𝕉𝕠𝕠 or 𝕠𝕠𝕠, who knows. So you can use the same MAC brush, because now the liquid will be dried as it is on your eyelid. It's already set. It's very quick. Just dip into it a little bit, tap off the excess so that you don't have fallout, and just pat on top of your eyeshadow base. And again, you can see that I'm sort of sticking, like the highest point is where my crease is. Back, forth, back, forth. I would always say do a little bit at a time, because you can always add more, which is easy, but trying to remove mistakes can be a little bit trickier. So just do it a bit by a bit. And then it's always handy to keep a brush like this MAC 217 brush, which is like a fluffy brush, clean one, just to gently blend the edges and remove any excess. And you just do it gently. Blended edges are so important to make everything look seamless. You can also add a little bit of that colour underneath should you wish to. Again, I'm going in with the MAC brush, but to be honest, you can go in with a smaller eye brush as well. Adding like an eyeshadow colour underneath the eye is a great way to add depth to the eye and balance out top and bottom without closing up the eye, if that makes sense. Now, if you feel like you've gone in a little bit heavy with the under eye bit, a good trick is to use like a normal cotton bud, and gently, ever so gently, I'm barely feeling pressure, and gently rub underneath just to blend it out. And this will again make it look really seamless, but you have to do it ever so gently because you don't want it to remove the concealer under your eye. Then I'm going to go in with this really pretty kind of champagne-y goldeny colour called Golden Flesh, and I'm going to use my finger because it's quite creamy even though it's a powder, and literally I'm going to pat it onto the centre of my eye. This adds like a spotlight effect to the centre of your eye, and it can make your eye look bigger, give that illusion. This is more of a, I would say, soft, glam, everyday eye look, or eyeshadow should I say, and to be honest, this is more than enough for a day look. I could have already stopped at the eyeshadow before, or the Skywash from Glossier, the liquid eyeshadow. I could have just stopped at that, but I just wanted to show you how to apply these colours. And if you really want to make the edges seamless, again going with the same brush and just gently blend in and blend in like so. In order to complete the eye, obviously go in with liner and some mascara. I know that liner's not for everyone, but I think for Asian eyes, eyeliner is so key in making your eyes more defined, bigger, and just really stand out. So there are so many options out there in terms of eyeliner. The list is endless and I've got so many favorites, but today I wanted to show you one eye doing liquid liner and one eye doing gel eyeliner. But before I get on to that, I just wanted to quickly touch upon liner for the waterline. So if you don't know already, your waterline is, this is your upper waterline and this is your lower waterline. So regardless of whether you apply a liner on your eye, I would always advise to fill in your waterline, your upper waterline. It makes the biggest difference. I have got a liner on my upper waterline already, and what you will see is that it just makes the lashes look darker, fuller, and your eyes more intensified than if you don't have it. Also, I don't know if you often get that feeling where you've done the eye look, you've done everything that you can do, you're generally pleased with the outcome, you've applied your several coats of mascara, but something is a bit lacking. It doesn't quite look complete. You can see that sort of like gaps of skin in between your lashes, and this is what will ensure that it just completes the look, trust me on it. So regardless of whether you do an eyeliner or not, do the waterline, trust me. So for my waterline, I normally like doing pencil, a long wearing or even better waterproof pencil. So at the moment I'm using one by Christian Dior. You can see how much I use it because it's so small now, and it's one with a sponge tip. I mean, sponge tips are really useless. And I like to just make sure you don't get it too sharp, because remember, this is going in your waterline, so you don't want to poke your eyes. And there are several ways you can apply liner to your waterline. I'm so used to it and comfortable that I can literally just go in and do this and this. But I know so many people and women are very squeamish about applying eyeliner to that part of the eye. Another way you can do it is just gently lift up your eye and apply it like this. The trick is to literally, there is no right or wrong, but you're applying liner to literally the base of your lashes just to intensify that area. And that alone can look like a liner without looking like a liner, if that makes any sense at all. Because technically, the liner is not on the outer part of your eye, it's on the inside, it's on the waterline. But it still makes the biggest difference. So many women are like funny about doing this part of the eye, but honey, you gotta get over it. This is life-changing if you haven't done it before. So for some, that could be an eyeliner look already, because it's defined the eyes a lot, and you could just pop on some mascara and you're good to go. I, however, am a liner girl through and through, and if there's one thing that makes me feel like me, it's eyeliner. For me, I feel like eyeliner makes the biggest difference to Asian eyes. Like seriously, it can make it look more elongated, you can really change the shape of your eye, you can make it look more striking, more feline, bigger, rounder, etc. So I'm going to use a liquid liner on this eye, and then I'll use my gel eyeliner on my left eye. So for my liquid liner, I'm going to go in with the Decorte, which is a Japanese brand, and this is the Styling Liquid Eyeliner in Brown 301. You'll notice I'm going in with a lot of brown products as opposed to black, just because brown still gives you that intensity, especially dark brown I'm talking about, gives you that intensity without looking too intense. So this is what it looks like. It looks like a fountain pen. Kind of damaged the nib a bit, which is really sad. Don't know if you can see it there, but it's such a good liner, liquid liner, and it does not budge, trust me, even in like 33-35 degrees weather. So the trick is to just really use your lash line as a guide. I personally start in the like inner corner, but it's up to you. And like I said, all you're doing is like resting it on your lashes and doing the line. If you run out of ink, you just click the end. And rather typically for a video like this, I think the ink is running a little bit low, but hey ho, the show must continue. So again, this can be your liner done. Goodbye, you're done for the day. And you can see the difference between this eye and that eye. It depends on what you prefer. Obviously, if you put a liner, it does make your lid space a bit smaller, but it makes your eyes pop a little bit more. So I always swear by liner, and this perhaps is enough for most people. Like I know that a lot of like Korean people, they quite like a natural liner, and that's enough, and the thinner the better. But personally for me, I like to do a flick. So I like to just go in. Okay, so where you have your lower lash line, pretend you are drawing a line, like following it, and just do a line out. So let's try again here. Then you kind of just fill in like so. Now you can do this liner really thinly, but I liked my liner to be quite like strong. And can you see how that's just instantly changed the shape of my eye? It's made it into like that feline stretched out look. And that's the kind of look I like. I like to look fierce. I like people to be scared of me when they see me. I'm joking, I don't. So that is the eye. And whilst it's still wet, a really good trick is to use these really thin cotton buds from 𝕊𝕬𝕐. Love 𝕊𝕬𝕐. And just do a little like wipe, tiny wipes at the bottom, and look how sharp that has made that liner. Like you could literally cut cake with that liner. So that's one side of the eye done. Before I go on to the other eye and using the gel liner, I just wanted to quickly touch upon monolid. So the difference between having a lid and no lid, the main difference is that when you don't have a lid, you could do a line like this, for example, and when you open your eyes, the line completely like disappears. It's almost like that, and the line just disappears. So with a monolid, you actually have to go in with a much more thicker line. So yes, it will mean that when you're looking down or your eyes are closed, your line is much more thicker, but when your eye is open, that's the only way to make that line visible, if that makes sense. So say like my eyes like that, I would have to literally cover this whole lid space with liner in order that when my eyes are open, you can see the liner. So you're still using the same technique, but you just have to make it thicker. And you can still do the same flick, make your eye look really super fierce, but it just has to be thicker. And do it bit by bit, so don't go in thick instantly. Do a little bit of a liner first, be happy with the shape that you've drawn, open your eyes, like look back into the mirror and see where the line is at. You will then be able to go back in, add more liner, and again step back and do this, if that makes sense. So rather than going in really with a thick liner and before you know it you're like, damn, I look like Amy Winehouse and I didn't want to do that look. So you just bit by bit add more and more. So that's the main difference between monolid and single lid. Also, in relation to the eyeshadow, I said earlier, you know, just to take it to the crease. I mean, this is generally where I think it's quite pretty for Asian eyes. However, there might be some of you out there who are super comfortable with a really full blown out smoky eye to the high heavens, up to the brow. I mean, that's completely up to you. But me personally speaking, and a lot of Asian girls I know don't like majorly dramatic looks. And generally, if I'm going to do a smoky eye, I keep it very close to my eye rather than go woo and, you know, go crazy. Like I said, my eye is not a canvas for you to paint on. So now I'm going to go in with a gel eyeliner on my left eye. I love and swear by the Bobbi Brown Longwear gel eyeliner. This is a cult product. Again, they have so many different colors, but I've gone in with caviar ink, which is sort of like a dark brown, as you can see. It looks black, I know, but it's not. And there's a huge difference in black and dark brown. With this sort of gel liner, you will need a special brush to go and apply it. And trust me, don't try and, you know, scrimp and save on the brush. Do not do that, because, you know, I've had so many women, you know, scrimp and save on brushes. And yes, there are some good, fairly priced, good quality brushes out there, but I would always invest in a good brush, because your tool is so important. In the same way, you're not going to find painters using crappy brushes on their art. it's for the same reason, because the tools will help you to create better lines, better definition, blend out better. Trust me, it makes a difference. So with this gel eyeliner, I go in with the Bobbi Brown Ultra Fine Eyeliner Brush. There isn't ultra precise, but trust me, this is better. Just add a little bit of product onto the brush, not too much. And in fact, you can just like take off some of the product on your hand. And I like to, again, do the same thing. Start from the inner corner. It doesn't matter what you start. Again, you're using that technique where you follow the lower lash line and you add a wing. And then again, you just join it up. What you will notice is I haven't gone whoop, whoop, because I mean, if you can do that with your eyeliner, you're a bloody maestro. You'll notice that I'm doing it bit by bit by bit, because that's the best way to avoid doing mistakes. Because trust me, these liners are really, really unforgiving when you make mistakes. And like I said, I like my liner to be slightly thicker. And my wing to be fierce. So that's both sides. And I hope you can see the difference that liner makes. For me, when I put liner on, I'm like, yes, that's the Deborah I know. Here she is. Whereas when I'm without liner, I'm like, Deborah, Deborah. Even once I get in there, I'm like, Deborah. So liner can make the biggest difference. What I will say about doing liner on the bottom, don't. Generally, I would say for liner on the lower lid or lower lash line, it can really close up your eye. If you want to add some intensity, there is a trick you can do with powder, but I would suggest staying the hell away from products like liquid and gel eyeliner on the bottom or lower lashes, because it's so unforgiving. It will literally look very harsh, and it will close up your eye, making it look smaller. So if you're that strange girl that says, but Debs, I really need liner on my lower lashes just to make it look more defined, I won't be impressed, but I'll say okay. Here's what you can do. So I'm going to go back in with the Natasha Denona palette, and this time I'm going to go in with the matte brown, which is called Hollow. And I'm going to go in with my Suqqu eyebrow brush. Actually, I'll pop the name down below, I don't know the name. And I love this brush. I've again had it for so many years, and it's such a good quality brush that, like I said, if you invest and look after your brushes, they do last. And in fact, in the long run, it'll be cheaper than buying a cheap brush, throwing it away and constantly replacing it. So I've gone in with this deeper color here, Hollow, and what you can do just to give a little bit of definition on the lower lashes, if that's your jam, is just press on the powder. You'll notice that I'll only do it on the outer edge, not the inner, because it will literally close up the eye. And the reason I've gone in with the powder is just a lot more softer in pigment, more forgiving, and you can blend it out if you make mistakes. So you can see it's added a little bit more definition on my lower lashes. And again, if you're not 100% happy and you want to soften it a little bit, very gently, like, you know, it should be like a tiny mouse is touching you. Maybe not a mouse, that's probably bad. You know, tiniest thing is touching you and you barely can feel it. That's how little pressure you want. So it's just blended out the edges and made it look a lot softer. I just wanted to show you another trick. So earlier I obviously mentioned using a thin cotton bud like this, and using that to just wipe away and make your liner really sharp. You can do that plus what I'm about to show you, because what you might find sometimes is you've rubbed so hard, you remove the like eye makeup, concealer, whatever here. So whatever concealer, ideally concealer, but whatever concealer foundation you've used. In my case, I have used the Charlotte Tilbury Magical Way Liquid Concealer. So just apply a little bit to the back of your hand. Go in with a flat concealer brush, like this concealer blending one by Bobbi Brown. Apply the tiniest amount to your brush. And what you can do to clean up the edges is apply the concealer, and you can also use this to like just sharpen your liner and clean up everything. Don't go here because you're just going to remove all the like hard work you've done. And again on the other eye, like so. And just blend it outwards. Now moving on to mascara. So lashes. Lashes. Unfortunately, my Asian sisters, a lot of us have eyelashes that are extremely straight, extremely heavy, and they just seem to just want to go down like theatre curtains. Unfortunately, that's just the way a lot of us were born, and it's almost like our parents like permanently straightened our lashes with a straightening perm whilst we were in our mummies' bellies. But I will just say that, and this is me just being real here for a second, a lot of my Asian sisters think that buying certain popular mascaras or seeing it on your favorite influencers, seeing it on an advert and seeing the effect that it has on them, when often they're wearing like fake lashes, they've had like a lash lift or something, or they were born with naturally gorgeous long lashes, naturally curled as well, and you think that by using that mascara it's going to make your lashes look the same. No, it doesn't work like that, sadly. And that's why we need every help we can get. That's why I promote using lash curlers. This is the lash curler, I think it's called the 𝕊𝕦𝕓𝕤, I could be wrong, but again I'll pop it down below. 𝕊𝕦𝕓𝕤 curler by Surat, and this is such a good lash curler. Alternatively, I know that in like countries like Korea you can get ones that have slight heating devices which will heat your lashes, almost like a mini curling tong for your lashes, and heat obviously helps the lashes to stay lifted. The only thing I'll say about the heat is sometimes I feel like that can be really damaging to your hair, and eventually cause them to like fall out. So I'm not so keen on the heat options, so that's why I much prefer the manual ones. So I would say if you don't use it but you have curlers, start using them, and again invest in one that is worth your time and energy, and don't be scared of it if you don't use it. I promise you it doesn't hurt. You just need to make sure you get it at the root of your, or the base of your lash, and just use it as a tool. So let's talking Debs. So you're bouncing it several times at the base, and then you can sort of like just lift it up as you continue to bounce and gently lift off. Do it on the other side. Voila, that's the difference of an eyelash curler. And trust me, that your lashes still might not look like Gigi Hadid's. I'm sorry if it doesn't, but you know, we've all got to accept some and compromise somewhere along the line, but it will be a hell of a lot different than not, you know, than applying mascara without curling your lashes. So now I'm going to go in with the Beauty Pie Uber Volume Fiber Mascara, which I've spoken about loads in my video, and this is just like amazing for adding, the fiber just adds extra literal fibers to your lashes and makes it look, it will help it to look fuller and more longer. So I'm applying it like so. Go in with the other side. I look like I've been out in like minus 20 degrees. However, I wouldn't apply this to my bottom lashes because it gets quite a bit messy. Then I'm going to go in with the Beauty Pie False Flash Lash Mascara. Again, I've spoken about this a lot. It's got this sort of tiny wand and it's great for just like getting into the root of the lashes. With mascara, you really want to get into the root of the lashes. And you can even do like this blinking action. It helps get rid of the Frosty the Snowman lashes. Can you see the difference that makes? Hello lashes! If you just look back on my video 10 minutes ago, you can see the difference. So again, start at the root. And by the way, if anyone asks, I wear contact lenses, as you can see, and all of this is safe for the eyes. And as a contact lenses wearer, I mean the waterline pencil, even the Bobbi Brown gel liner is safe to put in the waterline, trust me. I've done it thousands of times. So now I would just go in again, take off any excess product off the wand and go into my lower lashes. I'm going to pre-warn you, it's my, what I call my ugly mascara face, so it's like I am so sorry that I'm having to subject you to this close-up to my face. When you do your lower lashes, almost like bounce it at the root rather than brush it through. You know, here we brushed it through, here you're almost just like bouncing it on the like top of your lashes, like here, not like that makes sense. Sometimes I can't explain it, it's just like sound effects. And then if you want to prettify, and I think this is a really good technique for Asian eyes, use highlighter, and I mean like powder highlighter. So I'm using the Diamond Bomb by Rihanna, or Fenty should I say, and this is called How Many Carats, and you can go in with a small brush. This is a small brush by Tom Ford, again I've had it for years, and then just add a touch to the inner corner. And what this will do is just add more light around your eyes, and thus making it appear bigger and brighter. Like, how pretty is that? And then another trick you can do to mirror the spotlight we did in the center of our eye earlier, add a tiny amount to the center. With this Fenty one, you will get a little bit of like sparkle fallout, but who cares? You look like a sparkle fairy, and who doesn't want to look like a sparkle fairy? Like, how pretty is that? Can you see where the light hits and it reflects off the eye? And to be honest, you can go in with the same highlight and just bounce a little bit on the center of your eye on top of the lid as well, just for some extra glamour, should you wish. Listen, I know not everybody's a glitter person, but I am, and I think in the daytime it looks super pretty, and at nighttime it looks extra sparkly because of the artificial lights. So that's the eye look done. So just as a close-up, this is the liner, mascara, this is the eyeshadow. My eyes are like sparkling like diamonds. So this is the eye look, the liner. The only other thing I would say is, if you're doing a smoky eye look, do the smoky eye look first before putting on your base, because no matter what you do, most eyeshadows tend to have fallout, and that's where like the powder of the eyeshadow just like drops. I want to say like freckles, but it's not that pretty. Often it can just look like, make your face look dirty and like you've got soot on your face. So just to avoid that mess and extra hassle, I always like to start off with the smoky eye first and then add my base. I think I've covered everything. If there's anything I've forgotten, I will pop it down below. But I really hope that you enjoyed that video. In the future, I will do more sort of like eye focused looks, and I will perhaps do one on like smoky eye or different colored eyes, just so that you get a bit of a variety. I hope that was really useful, especially for those who requested this video. And if you have any questions, if there's anything I've forgotten, please leave it down in the comment section below. Like I said earlier, if there's anything that you would suggest that I haven't suggested, please leave it down below. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. If you turn on your notifications, you'll be notified of when I've got my new video uploaded. And like I said earlier, I do also film and post IGTV videos, which are posted separately on my Instagram. I will pop my handle on the screen now as well. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you again soon. Stay safe.
Butterflies in my stomach, butterflies in my chest.